Welcome back to the Bootleg Studios of Rant Roller Sports. And what made me react to this and make this video is that Kevin Durant, now to me, has become the biggest crybaby in all of basketball, in all of the NBA. This guy had his own kingdom in Oklahoma City, okay? And Kevin Durant is pictured here in a black jersey. The reason you see Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown next to him is they're going to discuss the latest trade rumors surrounding Kevin Durant, with the possibility of the Nets asking for Tatum and Brown for Kevin Durant. And I'm making this video because Kevin Durant is probably the greatest person in the world, if you know him. But I'm making this video as a fan. And as a fan of basketball, New Yorkers were so happy when KD decided to come to New York with Kyrie Irving. They gave Kevin Durant everything he wanted. Kyrie Irving got his money, KD got his money. They gave Kevin Durant a 4-year deal knowing that the first year he was going to miss the entire season because of that Achilles injury. They still gave him the whole contract knowing he was going to sit out an entire season. Kyrie was hurt half of that first season they were together there. And then Kyrie goes AWOL with the COVID thing. KD has no control over that. He has he can't sway Kyrie to take the shot and rejoin the team. They trade for James Harden. Harden gets there. He's still recovering from injury. He's not quite right. KD is hurt once again this year. And they limp into the playoffs and get beat by Boston. KD left his own kingdom in Oklahoma City. That was his kingdom. That was where he was supposed to make his mark and his stamp. He won an MVP there. That was your team. But he let Russell Westbrook run him out of his own kingdom. He went and joined Golden State. Golden State now was already solidified as a championship contender. They had won a championship team already. They had set the record, the regular season record for most wins in the season with 73. This was all prior to Kevin Durant coming there. Stephen Curry had already won 2 MVPs as well. He gets to Golden State. It's a safety net for him. It's a beautiful team system. He just fits right in. They support Kevin Durant to the point where he rises to the level of Finals MVP. 2 times, back-to-back championships with the Golden State Warriors. But that last season, he got into a little scuffle on the bench with Draymond Green, or in the huddle. Draymond Green called him a bitch, the B word, right to his face in front of everybody, in front of all the coaches, all the players, all the fans. Kevin Durant didn't do nothing. That proved he was not the alpha dog of the team. He should have smacked Draymond Green at the very least. And so what if Draymond could whoop him in real life? It wouldn't have mattered on the court at that point. Stand your ground. You're supposed to be the team's best player. Nowhere in history have I seen that happen, where the team's best player gets called out, called a bitch, on the sideline in front of everybody, shown up the way Draymond did to him. Then the owner of the Warriors had, after they won their second championship, made a little joke, basically saying that KD wasn't there from the beginning. So KD takes offense to these things. He wants to go off and join his buddy Kyrie and join his own team, form his own team. Okay. So he runs away from another kingdom in Golden State. This time he allows Draymond Green to run him out of Golden State. He goes to Brooklyn now. Kyrie Irving is the alpha dog, so he decides he ain't gonna play. He's not gonna take the shot, so therefore he's ineligible for all the home games. Say what? James Harden gets traded over, and him and Kyrie get into a rift behind the scenes. KD has no control over that. He cannot referee or sheriff that situation. So now James Harden is shipped off to Philadelphia for Ben Simmons, who I've defended Ben Simmons a few times in the past on this channel. Still can't play. So there now you find yourself in the final, in the playoffs, shorthanded. The team doesn't believe in you as a leader, and you let Boston make you look real bad, make you look like an amateur. Played your worst basketball of your career possibly in this year's playoffs against Boston. Fast forward. Now because they allegedly fire your trainer and coach and shot coach as assistant coach from the team, you throw a hissy fit and demand that not only Steve Nash, the head coach, be fired, but the general manager should be fired as well. So he's basically put the Nets in a precarious position where they can't bring him back. He done called his coach out to be fired and the general manager. So, here, I'm going to speak on it a little bit.
Call yesterday. Back to the NBA now, running the fast break. Here we go. Report out from the Boston Globe yesterday that when KD trade talks started between the Nets and Celtics, Brooklyn started by asking for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Shooting for the moon with that one. Nick, what'd you make of the demand?
It's sign of a poorly run franchise. Like, if you're Sean Marks, don't even make the phone call or don't take the phone call. It's stupid.
Yeah, there's no way that the Celtics are going to trade 50 points, which is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, for 30 points. That just doesn't add up. And the fact that both Tatum and Brown are not even 30 years old. All right? And Kevin Durant is about 34 years old. So it doesn't make sense for Boston to break up their young duo that just went to the finals for a guy like Kevin Durant, who's never been able to solidify a locker room anywhere he's went. He's not an alpha dog. He's not a leader that can galvanize the team. No, just doesn't make sense. KD's crybaby antics is just causing havoc across the league, and this is why the NBA is losing popularity. This is why. Because now players will be like, well, I don't want to be here. You sign a contract. I don't want to stay here. I want to go for whatever reason. So as a fan, how can we can support a team and get behind players that come to our teams if on a moment's notice they'll cry out to the media and demand a trade? And it's happening more and more often. I'm all for players making the most money they can make. But at some point, you have to consider the fan. You came to Brooklyn, you wanted to bring Brooklyn a championship, and now you don't. Now you want to go to Miami or this place or that place. Come on, give me a break. The same way you didn't stay in OKC and give that fan base a championship there. You ran away from there. You ran away from Golden State after they helped you get your 2 rings. And now you holding the Nets hostage.
I understand that in a negotiation, you should ask for more in your opening salvo than you plan to land on. But that doesn't mean if you're going into your boss's office for contract negotiations and you make
This is the segment that got my juices boiling about KD. So while we're talking about KD, you know, let's just go into his highlights a little bit. Any one of these.
After wins loss, so we'll go 11. Everything's won. We got a 12-second count once we cross that foot.
This is not what I'm looking for, folks.
Indiana's 4 of 5 from long range. Durant's got 11. Trent goes down. Durant is going to highlight. KD had the foul to give.
Ankle breaker.
That was an offensive foul. He pushed
Kevin
off,
Durant is one
but they
bad,
gave it to him.
Bad man. That was cold. The bench can't believe it.
Just not falling for Tatum. 1 for 9 for 3. Durant down the other end. Layup is good. And the foul. Kevin Durant. Chance for a 3-point play.
End of the third, into the fourth. And this
Now,
is what
Kevin
you can
Durant
afford.
would have been a great
An
player
opportunity in transition.
in any era, right?
Brooklyn Nets are 7th.
Let me just turn this down, folks. KD would have been a great player in any era because his ball handling at 6'11" and his shot making ability is unparalleled for his size. So talent wise, clutch play, there's no complaint with KD on the court. Even coming off a disastrous injury, he's still one of the top 5 players in the NBA. Where you have him in your top 5, that's up to you. But in all reality, it's irrelevant to me. Because KD is a crybaby. He's holding this Nets team hostage. And he's running away from another challenge. You know, he got challenged in OKC with Westbrook. He couldn't corral Westbrook, so he left. He got challenged in Golden State by Draymond Green, so he left. And he's been challenged in Brooklyn by Kyrie, his own buddy. And so now he wants out again. And this is why the NBA is losing popularity. These players want to play musical chairs with teams. Like I said before, I'm all for them making the most money they can make. But part of why fans get behind franchises is players that they root for and stand behind are expected to stay for a while. Not forever, but just for a while. I don't believe KD has honored the fans of New York by wanting out so quickly. Especially after he's gotten all the money he can make. And he's been hurt half the time he's been in Brooklyn. So this is why a lot of times people don't really want to follow the NBA anymore. They feel like they're a bunch of spoiled athletes that completely want their way now, and now they're not even considering fans. You know, at some point they do have to consider fans. We are the ones paying these $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 price tickets to come watch y'all play basketball. We're the ones paying for these $10 beers, $8 hot dogs, you know, parking, merchandise, you know, and all we're asking for is a little bit of loyalty in return, us fans. And KD is a poster child now for disloyal players. Say all the right things when they sign for the money at the photo op and the press conference, but they always have their own agendas. And this is hurting the sport. This is hurting the league. Let me know what you think in the comments section. It's been Rant Roller Sports. Peace.